Peoples. Top of the morning. It's Monday, November 27th. It is 9:05 a.m. And today's topic is Rule 213. Just going to read a little bit, then I'm going to go to something else so it gives some clarity on what I'm speaking about. Many of you are probably unprivy to this rule that was just passed. Well, just revised and passed, basically. So I'm going to read a little bit. The New York State Supreme Appellate Division issued a ruling last week that effectively paves the way for quarantine camps in the future, the Brownstone Institute reported. The court's November 17th decision reversed the lower court's ruling that determined the March 2020 Emergency Rule 213 establishing isolation and quarantine procedures was unconstitutional. The lower court ruling stemmed from a lawsuit filed in April 2022 by three New York State lawmakers and the citizens group Uniting NYS, who sued Governor Kathleen Hochul and the New York State Department of Health over Rule 213. The DOH later sought to make the rule permanent by establishing procedures through which the state health officials could isolate or quarantine against their will people who had or were suspected of having a highly contagious communicable disease. The state Supreme Court Judge Ronald Plowitz on July 28, 2022, ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, striking down the law. But last week, the appellate court reversed that decision, ruling that the plaintiffs had no standing to sue because they had not suffered a direct and personal injury. In a statement, the plaintiffs said they were deeply disappointed in the ruling, which did not examine the central question at stake in the lawsuit. All right, guys, so as you can see, I switched my screen. I'm on a platform known as X, formerly known as Twitter. There's a guy on here named @Travis_N_Flint. This is where I got the story from, guys. So I'm just going to read what he wrote. Happening now, the New York Appellate Division has ruled in favor of Governor Kathleen Hochul in the landmark case for government outreach. Rule 213, isolation and quarantine procedures, will give the state of New York the ability to come in your home and take you away to quarantine without any notice for any virus or infection they deem necessary. You won't have any option to fight it. No court date, nothing. The rule has no age limit and they can keep you as long as they'd like. The rule also allows them to treat you as they see fit, including using methods that are still in testing. This is one of the biggest abuses of power this country has ever seen. This is only the beginning. How long until this is nationwide or even global? All right, so this is the part of the show where I just give my raw opinion. I'm angry, I'm outraged, I'm appalled, but mostly I'm amazed at how the American people could allow such a thing. I'm amazed at how, knowing the ramifications of such a thing, how people would allow such a thing to be passed. It's also confusing because I don't see how it would effectively work. Like, what are you going to do? Have people calling on people to say, "Oh, I think this person's sick"? I mean, how far are you willing to take this scenario? I very well don't see how it will be effective. But my mind, you know, I think deeper about every situation. So I effectively started thinking about my kids going to school and a teacher or somebody calling someone and saying that I believe this child is sick. Parent going to work, this person is sick. But how would you know that? How would you know these things? And if you don't have to have, if you don't have the option to have a second opinion, or you don't have the option to have a personal doctor say, well, no, this is not accurate, this person is showing symptoms of this but it's actually something else, this is going to lead to a very, very chaotic situation. It's all I see. All I see is chaos, because I don't believe that people, once they focus in, because I don't even believe that a lot of people even know about this information. So many people are in their clouds, in their bubbles, in their worlds, that they're not paying attention to so many things that's going on right under our noses. These politicians, these governments around the world are doing things that we are definitely unprivy to. As much as I want to sound surprised, I'm actually not. Because some of the people that have been put in positions of power are actually some of the worst people that the planet Earth has ever produced. The people will be outraged. I mean, just look at some of the comments. One person writes, so what happens if people resist with firearms? Person who put the story out, Travis, won't be pretty. So this is something like, it's hard to imagine it. It's hard to think about someone entering your home, taking family members, you not seeing them for X amount of time. Who knows if you'll ever even see them again? And what about the new mothers? Can you imagine it? Just giving birth and someone showing up to your apartment saying that they need to take your baby for whatever reason, and they're not telling you or giving you any indication of when they're going to return your baby to you, and you don't know what they're doing to your baby while your baby is gone. I wonder if you would allow it. I wonder how many mothers are going to resist. I wonder how many fathers are going to resist. Other comments say, get out of New York now. But I don't know if it's just about getting out of New York. It might actually be about getting out of the country when it's all said and done. I mean, I can't imagine that it won't go nationwide. I mean, sure, there's probably going to be some states that'll resist. There's probably even going to be some states that'll fight, and those will be the last states to effectively turn and and buckle to the mandate. But nonetheless, it'll end up being nationwide. Travis says, I concur. Somebody else is Humanaki, says Florida has a very similar law DeSantis signed in a bill that had other stuff in it. Nobody saw it until after it was signed. Wow. So I guess the real question is, what are we prepared to do? Not just as American citizens, but as human beings connected to the human race in this beautiful experience called life. Drop a comment in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this. Are you angry? Are you appalled? Are you upset? Are you mad? Do you even care? Peace.